Hillary could have been saying the same thing, I guess,
That's
is what
the
I'm
other
saying.
shoe it's going to drop.
Samantha Colosimo, on last night's ballot, you had to flip it over, and people voted yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
So what do you think?
7,000 people voted yes. It was outstanding. Honestly,
Yeah.
I wanted to come on this morning just because I wanted to honestly thank everyone. First of all, they came out and voted. I mean, it was I was at the polls from 6 in the morning till almost 8 o'clock at night. And when I tell you it didn't stop, it did not stop once all day. I mean, the polls had lines, waiting in them. So it was a great turnout for the, obviously for the presidential election. But the paging plan, I'm excited that it passed, and I can't thank the voters enough for having their support and the council people that supported this, and looking to move forward on it.
Manaski, you saw huge numbers yesterday.
It was unbelievable. I was at the Armory yesterday around 6 o'clock. I've never seen that many people there that late in the day. I don't think I've ever seen that many people there at that time of the day. This isn't a complaint, but there was like a traffic jam to get in and out because that entryway.
Oh, I was at the Armory. Joe Marino relieved me, and I went up to North Utica. I went around to all the polling locations throughout the day just to check to see how everything was going. And, I'm telling you, from City Hall to Parkway Rec Center to the North Utica Senior Center to Redeemer, it did not stop all day. My mother-in-law works the polls, and she couldn't even go take a break for dinner. That's how busy they were.
That is a great polling place because of the space inside and where it's located. But they almost have to make that entryway bigger. You can only get one vehicle in and out at a time. So when there's a line on the inside and outside, I thought I was going to be stuck there for an hour. I was there for about 20 minutes as it was.
It is good to see.
The people, right. Well, look at the people at the polling locations know what they're doing for the most part. Right. So everything moves along pretty quick.
Listen, it's good to see big turnout. And really, it was a middle-class, working-class America turnout. I'm specifically talking about Utica, but throughout the country, the turnout was huge, but not so big. I think Hillary expected a bigger turnout from the left, and it didn't happen. All right, Samantha, thank you. I appreciate the call.
Oh, thanks, guys, so much. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
Marques Phillips is in this morning. Marques worked as a reporter with the Observer-Dispatch, worked with us at Utica Daily News when we had that in operation, and you were probably not a happy guy here this morning.
No, I'm not. I'm not unhappy. I'm one of the people that a lot of people called me, I'm a Democrat, and a lot of people called me like it was the end of the world, and they felt like yesterday wasn't like a rejection of a party; it was a rejection of them personally.
Right.
I live in a community that has a lot of Muslims in it, and there was a lot of minorities, and my sister lives in California, and her roommate and my daughter goes to college in California, and there's a lot of Mexicans, and that feel like it was a vote against them. So they feel kind of like personally attacked by the election. But I'm one of these people that feels like, you know what? The pendulum swings, and the people that get out and vote and that do the work deserve what they get.
Yeah.
And they voted yesterday. And look, I hope Donald Trump's the best president in the history of the country.
Well, listen, it's he certainly has the possibility. First, you have a very high expectation from the right. However, he could just start throwing parties, and I think that they'd be okay with it.
Right.
But on the left, there is zero expectation.
Right.
As a matter of fact, fear. So the bar's been set pretty low from the opposition. So he really could surprise a lot of people.
He could, and you know what? The thing about Donald Trump that I guess I could take some kind of solace in is nobody really knows what the guy is going to do.
I know.
Right. You know what I mean? He doesn't have a record as a public official.
Right.
He's whether you like him or not, you got to admit he's changed his positions a lot. He's modified them. He's been restrained. He's been unrestrained.
The last 2 weeks, he did exactly what he had to do. And Conway is the one who needs credit there, in my opinion. She's the one, when she came into play, she's the one that's really been able to rein him in. And even though she wasn't, and then some of the stories that popped out, that the bus story, the sex stuff, all that stuff, that wasn't Trump's doing. That came in
Right.
from
That's
no
kind of
campaign
true.
manager
I think
could
I think some of it was.
But she was able to restrain him.
She was, and she did a good job. And Kellyanne Conway is really the star of the election. But
Yeah,
I think one of the things was, too, there was kind of like outrageous stuff fatigue. Like he would say things that if somebody said it, 4 years ago, if Mitt Romney said that, I know, but you would hear Trump and you'd be like, man, the guy's showing discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
The question,
Speaking of the bar, had been lowered. lowered so much.
But the question that I have and I would want to know is, I don't know how popular this would be with Republicans. I talked to a bunch of them yesterday, but I don't really know what's a Democrat and what's a Republican anymore. Like, so he's kind of a nationalist. I mean, it was a clear vote for nationalism, but Republicans used to be like the party of free trade, let's say, and they're not. They used to be one of the pro-immigration parties for business interests. So where the party was and what it is now is two completely different things. So how's he going to work with Congress and what? I'm interested, man.
And I have to tell you, it could be a backfire. This could really backfire in that you don't know. You're a Democrat. You don't know what you've got in Donald Trump. You're a Republican.
Idea.
You don't know what you've got in Donald Trump, and who knows what comes out of that.
As somebody who was not actively supporting Donald Trump, when he gave his victory speech and was reaching out to somebody like somebody who wasn't voting for him or wasn't supporting him, did you feel it was genuine?
Wasn't actively supporting him is a very diplomatic way of putting it, Andrew. No, I mean, look, yesterday, it was kind of fresh, and for me, I'll be honest, I'm still not at the point where I can exactly listen to the guy speak.
Of course,
because there's some things that he said, look, that are highly offensive to my moral core. But I'm sure
I feel the same way. But I even felt myself feeling like in the last 2 weeks, like I thought he was going to come out and say something crazy, and he didn't. And I'm, the Muslim stuff, the stuff about the handicap guy, all of those things are so unpresidential. There are presidents rolling over in their grave right now. Dead presidents are rolling in the grave, and just the ones that are alive are just rolling around in bed. They don't know what to think.
Well, when you come from Utica, the Bosnians are Muslims.
Right.
My sister is a converted Muslim. So my nieces and nephews are Muslims. One of my nephews has cerebral palsy, so that was one of the things that bothered me. And look, there's just a whole bunch of things. I'm kind of a geek. I believe in climate change, and yesterday was definitely a loss for climate change. So there's things that are important to you that you lose. But, I think it doesn't really matter if it changes whether or not people are willing to work together and get stuff done. I find, like, right now I work in local politics, and I find that when you got two people at a table, a lot of times the solutions are obvious. It's just whether or not they're willing to do it.
To do it, right.
Right.
And maybe he's a doer, and he's going to, look, I'm trying to glass half full here.
Listen, it's the only way you can look at this. You don't pick up and run to Canada, although the immigration website in Canada shut down last night. Be aware of that. Shut down because of all that.